How are you, Malcolm?
I'm doing well, Seth. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being here, and congratulations. You opened the season with a win. I know you've been at this for a while. How sore are you on a Monday after a game day?
I'm pretty sore right now, but you get in the cold tub, you ice up a little bit, you back at it tomorrow. So it's but nothing out of the norm.
So last time we spoke, you were here. You were a newly crowned Super Bowl champion, and now we're speaking after a game in which you played in front of no fans. How was that as an experience for you? I mean, again, you've been playing football for a long time, but I'm sure you've never played in an empty stadium like that.
Yeah, it's weird. The first couple drives felt very much like a practice or a scrimmage. They talk about having like crowd noise pumped in that's about 70 decibels. It's like about as loud as sounds like somebody's like vacuuming the stadium. That's how loud it was. But at the end of the day, it was a game, and you start to get into the competitiveness of it, and you get used to it. But it definitely was a weird feeling not having your fan base there.
I know this summer you had expressed some doubt, some hesitation about playing the season. Now that you're a week into it, after a very obviously weird training camp and no preseason, how comfortable do you feel with the protocols and safety measures that are in place?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of a ground that's been made up since the spring when we really didn't know much about what our protocols were going to be. A lot of it was negotiated between our player union and the league. And I think we've gotten to a point where guys feel comfortable. We're getting tested every day. The positive tests have been really, really low. So I think guys are comfortable, but that came about through a lot of negotiating, a lot of pushing and pulling. I'm glad we created an environment that at least allows some guys to feel as safe as possible as we try to play this game.
So we also spoke before about your foundation, and this is basically an organization that's trying to serve underserved communities. And in a time like this, we always find out when something along the lines of a pandemic happens. It of course affects underserved communities disproportionately. I assume you have to shift your focus and the way you approach helping people out. Have you found that to be the case during these incredibly difficult last 6-7 months?
Yeah, I think to what you alluded, whenever you have these national crises, oftentimes the communities that are already disadvantaged get it the worst. And also, so does those nonprofits that help those communities. And so for us, we've had to pivot, not, as with social distancing and a lot of the restrictions, we have a lot of, in-person programs. And what we did was say, okay, how do we make this virtual and turn all of this into the needs of today? And so we are creating an online curriculum, an e-curriculum that kids can go and experience for free and get job training and job readiness, not only for kids who are going to go off to four-year universities, but also those who are going to take those non-traditional paths and go directly into the workforce. And so we're doing that and trying to not preach to kids of what they should be, but really give them opportunities to see other people who've taken these paths and have been successful, so they can see themselves and as creatives, see themselves as entrepreneurs and really pursue those types of paths.
You're also a producer now, and one of the things you've produced is this really eye-opening documentary that I think allows voices that you're not used to hearing tell their stories. You were originally supposed to be just one of the subjects in this documentary, and can you talk about the path from that to ending up on the producing side of it?
Yeah, I mean, the film, I was supposed to just be interviewed, and it was about kind of the spectrum of Black boys and their humanity. And I was intrigued because it's directed by a white woman, and she wanted to tell the story because at some point she realized she had a fear of Black men that she couldn't really explain, wasn't taught to her, but that she just kind of been conditioned by the things that she'd seen and been, how Black men are portrayed. And I think I've had a good friend tell me recently, when you look at situations like George Floyd and how somebody can put their knee on a man's neck for 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes, is because you have to see him either as superhuman or subhuman. And oftentimes when we look at how we depict Black men and Black boys, It's in those two buckets. And so there's a wide range of who we are. We're not monolithic. You know, we have creativity. We have minds that are brilliant. We are creative. We have fears. We have joys. We have pain. And so really just being able to explore that and what does it look like as early as, you know, grade school? What are our educators looking like? What are the messages that we're sending our kids? And really just celebrating, you know, who we are as Black boys. And now I'm really excited to do the same kind of project with Black girls, because I think they, you know, are subject to a unique experience that's even, you know, further kind of in the depths than Black boys.
Well, congratulations on the documentary. You are definitely as adept a producer as you are a football player and an activist. There's got to be something you're not good at, Malcolm. Maybe we can get to it next time you're here.
Golf.
Golf. All right, thank you. You and I, finally, we have something in common.